we have Kalhan Mattoo and Thought Trains, if they both here, to make sure your presentations are running. And he's going to let us in on a little secret.
Hi, my name is Kalhan, and I work for this really, fringe, small, interesting design studio called PECHA Studios. Now, this practice still employs me now that I'm over 35, and for that I'm forever thankful. In this audience right now is my boss Santha right there, and a few people from our studio, and they have these big smiles pasted on their faces. I think in anticipation of the fact that I'll goof up sooner or later. This is, I wish to speak actually about 20 things that I did not learn in design school. I think the irony of this will not be lost on a few friends here who were my contemporaries around that time. They would imagine how come he knows about these 20 things when he was not in school at all around that time. But yet, I'll take a chance with this. So we'll go through this presentation quickly and we'll make it as, as less painful as possible. Next slide, please. Ignorance is a virtue. In our studio, we talk about ignoramus architectus, which is bad Greek for staying ignorant most of the time. We admit to ourselves and within the studio and to our clients that we don't know, and therefore we ask a whole lot of questions, a lot of them stupid, and that has helped us design and articulate programs and projects which are something like this. Our first architectural project, which was the design of an educational facility, not knowing how it's done before and asking everybody, including the watchman of the building, we were able to design a program which was quite exciting, unusual, and this building turned out such. Next slide, please. We advocate cozying up with contractors. I meet them out of work, outside of work. I take them out, always pick up the tab. But the idea is to create non-adversarial relationships. The idea is to align interests. Everybody should work the same way. It goes very much against what we are taught through school, but that's something that we believe in. Next slide, please. Negotiating the structure. I mean, it's easy to get dazzled with equations. It's easy to get dazzled with the fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD that comes our way from different kinds of structural engineers. But we have learned to negotiate with them. We have learned to arm wrestle them into submission and into agreeing with our concepts. So there's a whole seminar hall block that we have suspended from the roof. There is a tree-shaped column which is maybe 15% more steel, but 85% more fun. And there is, a tube-shaped structure. So the list goes on and on. So the structural engineers find us a pain in the wrong place, and we think it's only just that it's so. Next slide, please. Happenstance counts. Acts of God, random happenings, our stupidity, a frisky dog in the studio, anything that contributes to the design process somewhere in between. Okay, whether it's a spilled coffee and the stain that leaves on your sheet, or in this case, a crushed piece of paper, and how that evokes a design is something that we look for actively. We're not so pat and so confident about our design abilities that we don't keep our eyes and ears open. So a lot of design comes out of accidents of fate rather than deliberate intent. Next slide, please. We remain opportunistic. A wonderful client who unfortunately breaks a leg the moment we start a new project and therefore ends up in a hospital and leaves us with a mandate to design his table, which he said should be interesting like a conversation piece, and we designed a table for him which is like a totem pole, and he comes back, and this is an opportunity that God had given us, and we took that with both hands. So he loves that eventually, but I'm sure in his being there, in his sanity, he would not have approved this idea. So grabbing opportunities as they come, when they come. Next. This is not in the sense of Ulmer or the kind of discourse that deconstructivists use in architecture, but concepts as in using simple ideas or evocative expressions that make it easier to communicate your idea, easy to communicate your intent, to connect with your audience, to connect with your end user. So in this case, there were a lot of these lots or really plots that we put in the sky, and this is studio work, so we want to create a skyscraper out of that. So that, for us, is lots in the sky. Obviously, on a skyscraper, if you look at the top image, skyscraper which derives from the city and grows like a weed, could also be called getting high on weed, but that's probably inappropriate for this sort of gathering. Next, please. There's a lot of pent-up energy that stays in designers. I mean, this needs vent, this needs expression. So sometimes it's good to go over the top. It's good to go maximal, to express yourself in the most outrageous way possible. And in this case, you see here, I mean, this is one of the lounges that we run called Mocha Mojo, and we've gone completely over the top. There's nothing that holds us back, nothing that restrains us. I think it's good. It's therapeutic in a way. You can let go of that bit of steam, and that's a good thing to do. Next, please. While we can do that, we should also have the ability to make that switch from maximal to minimal, because that's what is more acceptable most of the time. And understanding that and responding to client needs in that fashion is something that we, again, advocate quite strongly.